Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing some scratch art, and that's if you're in the art room with me, I'm going to be giving you a special piece of paper that has really shiny glittery colors underneath it, and we're going to scratch our art on that. But if you're at home and you don't have that kind of paper, I'm going to show you really quick how you can make it. So the first thing you'll need is you'll need some crayons, you'll need a piece of paper, and you're going to take and cover the entire paper with crayon. Okay, it doesn't matter where or what color, but what you really want to be sure you do here is put down a really thick layer of crayon. If any white space is showing, what'll happen when you go to scratch this off is the dark color we put over it will get adhered to the paper and you won't be able to see these bright colors. So you got to make sure that the wax from the crayon is covering your whole paper. You don't want to see any little white space in there. You want it to be all crayon color. Black oil pastel, I'm going to do half of this with black oil pastel and half of it with paint so you can see what happens. You're going to color over top of that with the black oil pastel or with the paint until you cannot see your colors anymore, okay? Make them disappear completely. I guess I should have been holding onto my paper there. Kind of ripped a little bit, but that's okay. All right, I still see a little bit of color through here, so I'm going to keep going back and forth until it's completely black. All right, oops, that was my fingernail that accidentally did that, which just tells you what we're going to do here in just a minute. You could use your fingernail, which is really super messy. I'm not going to do my fingernail. I have little wooden tools we're going to use in the art room. And then the other thing you could do is you can, if you have some black paint at home, you can just take your black paint and you can paint over this. Make sure it's all covered up. You don't want to be able to see any of your beautiful colors. They're all going to be hidden under there for this big surprise, okay? Try to make your strokes kind of go all the same way so it's nice and smooth, okay? And then we're going to let that dry, okay? Now Mrs. Walker has a dry one over here that I'm going to bring over to let you show you. So the last thing I'm going to show you is the scratch art paper, and this is something that Mrs. Walker purchased that has some glittery, sparkly stuff behind it. But the tricky thing about this is if you touch it with your fingers, the oils from your fingers will make it so it's hard to scratch off. So you want to just hold it around the edges like this, and I could see a little bit where I don't know if you can see it. You can see my thumbprint there. So you want to try to not get too many prints on there, but you do have to hold on to it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our name and class code. So you're going to scratch. Sometimes you have to push kind of hard with these. I had to kind of scratch really hard to get my name in there, but you want to scratch in your name, and then you want to scratch in your class code, okay? You're either in KB, KC, or KA. I'm going to put KA on this one. And then we're going to make our spider web. And the first thing you do to make the spider web is we make a diagonal line. So we're going to go from the top corner, diagonal line. So we're going to go from the top corner down to the bottom corner, okay? And then we're going to go from this corner to that corner. You should have a giant X, okay? And then we're going to make a vertical line. We're going to come right down through the middle That's a vertical line, goes up and down like this, goes right from the top down, and then right when you get to your name, stop. Don't go over your name, okay? And then we're going to go across. That's a horizontal line. We're going to go straight across like this, right in the middle. There. And now we're ready to make our connecting lines for our web, okay? I'm going to do a curved line. You could do a straight line, or you could curve it this way. You could curve it this way. I kind of like it curved in a little bit like this. And then I'm going to move up a little bit and do another one and another one. I think I should put one in here too. And do another one. And each time I'm moving up just a little bit on the line and curving it over, okay? And then I'm going to turn my paper just a little bit, and I'm going to do it again. Curved lines all the way around. Can you guys see the sparkling that's happening with my paper? I'm going to have to show you. Look at this. It's kind of sparkly. Can you see the glitter in there? You really can't see it very good. Wait till you see yours. They're actually glittery. It's very beautiful. It reminds me of what a real spider web looks like when the sun is sort of dancing on the web. If it's got dew on it, moisture on the web, it really looks like this, like in the mornings. If you've ever seen a spider web, I used to live on a farm, so we saw a lot of these. The last thing you're going to do before you stop is add your spider, okay? And you might have, I don't know if you've watched the first part of this video. We're going to need to know how many body parts a spider has. Spiders have 2 body parts. They have a head and an abdomen, but because their middle body part, their thorax, is actually kind of fused to their head, it's called a cephalothorax. All insects have 3 body parts. Spiders, it just looks like 2, but that's really because theirs are fused together. Okay, so when you get all the way around and you've done your triangle, you've got all of your beautiful web in there, all the beautiful lines. Look at all the lines we made. Wow. Then you're going to make your spider, okay? And I think I'm going to make mine. He's going to be hanging right here. I'm going to make him dangling down. I'm going to put his abdomen, scratch it in there, and then I'm going to scratch him in a head. So an abdomen is like an oval and a circle. And then I'm going to put 8 legs, because all spiders have 8 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. You could even give him some pinchers if you wanted to, depending on what kind of spider you're making. Okay, and then when you're all done, just make sure you have your name and class code. Now, the fun thing about this, remember I said not to touch it because it would be hard to scratch off? Well, now when you're completely done after you showed it to Mrs. Walker, I want you to rub all over it with your fingers, because what'll happen is your hand, the oil in your hands will keep it from getting scratched off later when you don't want it to be. So when you're completely finished, we're going to touch it all over the place, okay?